Welcome back to MMO Noobs. I'm Chris.
I'm Rick.
And I'm Keith. What's up, guys?
Yeah, coming back at you with some more new world content that we have come across while we've been playing. And we have been streaming. Well, I've been streaming. I think Keith has streamed a little bit. I'm not sure about Rick. Have you streamed any?
I haven't streamed any New World, no.
Okay. But, if you want to watch our streams, I'm at Heartland PAE, all one word. Keith is at MMO Noob Keith. And Rick is at TBR Productions. And, alright, let's get started. So, I figured we'd start off with some news that we came across in the game. I went to Google and found some interesting stuff, like the Prime Gaming Thespian Pack. Probably said that wrong. But
no, I think you nailed it.
Oh, I hope so. Now, it says, Greetings Adventurers, we're back again with free, exclusive New World cosmetic items available through Prime Gaming with the Thespian Pack. Now available till January 25th. And so, that's, what day is that on? I didn't even take a look about...
2 weeks.
So, 2 weeks today, because we're recording on a Tuesday. So, not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. The first pack includes the Thespian Armor Kit, the Shh emote, Bow emote, alongside a Thespian Crest Pack. Now, with Prime Gaming, Amazon Prime members enjoy tons of free exclusive content for their favorite PC, console, and mobile games. Plus, they can claim a collection of PC games for free every month that are theirs to keep forever at a monthly Twitch channel subscription. Prime Gaming's selection of in-game content and free PC games is also growing and rotating to stay fresh with new items and free games added every month. Players who are not currently Amazon Prime members that are interested in accessing the exclusive New World loot can sign up for a free 30-day trial on the Prime Gaming website. And then they go on to say, stay tuned as we'll have more content for Prime Gaming members in the future. Thanks for your support. We'll see you in Aeternum.
Yeah, so it kind of looks like I don't know how you would describe what that would look like.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's like a purple baker's hat with a frilly neck piece.
Exactly, yeah. Almost like, it kind of makes me think of a court gesture, except for with the...
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say, kind of a gesture look.
But he's got like an iron mask on or something like that. Or, I don't know.
Now, one thing I did find out on this, because I've got this Prime Gaming pack, you can't... All the other gear that you get, you can dye it different colors, but the skins that you either purchase in-game or get through Prime Gaming, you can't dye those. So it's like a really bright purple.
Ew. Oh, if you like bright purple, there you go. You want people to see you while you're playing the game? There you go. Alright. Who wants to go over the updates?
I was just going down through the list here. It doesn't look like there's much as far as major stuff. They reduced the amount of characters that can be created per day per account. I think that's probably in an effort to hopefully help with the bots. There's a lot of bots, and I see people complaining all the time about the number of bots. So if they reduce the number of characters that can be created per day, then that'll make it harder it'll make it so that whoever's running those bot accounts have to actually purchase additional accounts if they want to be able to continue to create new characters every time one gets reported and kicked off.
Yeah, that's cool.
It says fixed an issue causing Azoth balances to not update after fast traveling or crafting. So apparently there was an issue where when you spent Azoth, it wasn't updating. So they've taken care of that. They fixed an issue that caused potions to drop at multiple gear scores, resulting in inventory stacking issues.
Oh. Wow.
And what's it say? To enable a level playing field for players, we reset the faction cooldown time for all players. Once players choose or change a faction, the duration of cooldown will be set to 60 days.
Yeah, I think before it was set to like 120 days or something like that, where you could switch your faction.
Oh. 120 days. Whoa.
Yeah.
And the last one here, fixed an issue that occasionally caused the Weavers Needed Town Project mission for the Winter Convergence to not be completed if attempting to craft in Everfall. So nothing major on the update, just a few little bug fixes. And I know as we've been playing, Rick and I have ran into some bugs where there's a couple quests we just can't complete because either the person we're supposed to turn it into isn't spawning in the world the way they're supposed to, or one of them, there's a mob that we're supposed to go out and kill, but it's nowhere to be found. And we've gotten on the forums and checked them out, and it's multiple people reporting the same issue, and they get back and say, you know, that we'll send this to the development team and monitor it, and so hopefully we'll see some of those fixes in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I remember the other day I was we were going to play together, and you and Rick were going to finish a quest before y'all hopped on the other tunes, and you're like, well, never mind, we can't do this, there's a bug, and so hopefully they'll fix it and we'll come back out later.
Yeah, so that's what, the one where we have to kill the mob. We had to collect a certain item from this specific mob. And like even the quest text, when you have it pinned, it doesn't even say what you're supposed to get this item from. So I'm assuming that there was some sort of a coding glitch where the mob doesn't actually get entered into the game.
But y'all got back on there and did it later, right?
No, so it's still incomplete.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, the first report of that one on the forums was like 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I don't know how fast they are at updating and getting these bugs fixed. So I'm gonna try and monitor those and see if during the course of January, while we're doing this podcast on New World, if they get those bugs fixed, or if it's something that, you know, it might take them, you know, a month and a half, 2 months even to fix a bug. So I'll keep an eye on those two at least and see if they get fixed before we move on to a new game.
all right. And we might even have updates while we're playing other games. Updates of past games. I don't know. Just an idea for later. But alright, let's move on to what we've been doing in game. Now, I got kind of busy. I've hardly played, but I've got on when I can. And but they have been playing a little bit here and there, so I'll let them tell you what they've kind of been doing, and I'll jump in there when I can.
As we stated last week, or was it last week? Yeah, I think it was last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. I was doing the DPS side of things, and I decided to go with a caster DPS. So I've switched from using physical damage weapons to using the fire staff and the ice gauntlet right now. And
some of those spells look pretty awesome.
They do, and like the amount of AoE that you get from those two items is ridiculous. Like it's you get one that's like a pillar of fire, and then you throw up a meteor shower, and then you switch over to your ice gauntlet, and you get a like almost like a blizzard bubble and some ice spikes. Like it's tons of AoE damage that rips through enemies really, really fast, surprisingly.
Yeah, I think one of y'all was pulling other things to us, and then you were doing the AoE thing, and things were just melting.
Yeah, like I've also got this like a little fireball like I just throw on the ground, and it just creates a area of burning damage for I think it's like 9 seconds or something like that. So you do that, and you do that blizzard bubble, and things are moving slower and taking more damage. Like, it's just insane. I definitely didn't expect it, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, like even as the squishy mage of the group, I've been able to pull some decently large numbers of things, and I wouldn't say take them down effortlessly, but I do not have a whole lot of difficulty doing so.
I have noticed things are going down a lot quicker since you've switched, but I didn't know if that was since we're just getting levels up or what.
I think it's a combination of getting levels up, and like I've put all my points into intelligence, so like my damage should be kind of catastrophic. I hope, and I'm going to continue putting points just strictly into intelligence. I'm not going to worry about constitution or anything. If need be, I will just get constitution from equipment and stack my health up that way.
Yeah, so would you say doing a DPS character, is it easier to do the casting or harder to do the casting than it would be doing the melee?
It's more difficult to do the casting because even your basic attacks consume mana, and you don't really get more mana, right? Like me putting points into intelligence doesn't increase how much mana I have. I consistently have 100 mana at all times until I use it, and with melee stuff, there doesn't seem to be any sort of stamina drain when you're using it, only when you're blocking, and you can just go hard. But I did notice that you do have some slightly longer cooldowns with the melee stuff, so I would probably say it's kind of maybe to try and even it out, but yeah, definitely running out of mana and being unable to attack even with a basic attack is a bit of a pain. So you really got to watch and keep up on potions and mana regeneration foods.
So if you're doing a casting DPS, you gotta make sure you make potions and stuff like that.
Yeah, just keep a decent steady supply of potions, because you can almost guarantee if you get into any big fights that take more than say 30 seconds or 45 seconds, you're going to run out of mana, and you're going to run into problems where you're not going to be able to do anything. So having those mana potions on hand would be extremely helpful.
So if you were a melee DPS, what would you do? You wouldn't do potions, but would you do something else?
Well, like you could still do foods to increase like damage buffs and stuff like that. Having potions isn't like you would have health potions over mana potions, obviously, with melee, because you're up in the thick of things getting hit in the face. But yeah, you definitely don't need as much of the stuff that the casters do, because like you have health regenerating foods, you have mana regenerating foods, you have health regenerating potions, you have mana regenerating potions. So you kind of have to have a combination of those four in comparison to just the melee DPS just needing basic health regen, and that's it.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So, same thing with you want to be able to make potions. I guess healing does the same thing, right? For you, Keith?
Usually the way because when we first started playing, I was having a lot of trouble with my mana. I'd heal you through a fight and I'd be completely out. So what I've started doing is they've got what's called Energizing travel rations. If you eat, it's a food you eat, and it increases your mana regen rate by 15% for 25 minutes. So I always make sure I have one of those active. And then anytime we're going to get into any kind of fight that I think is going to push my mana consumption, I've also got the focus potion on my action bar. So I'll just constantly be using focus potions, and the focus potion is different than a mana potion. A mana potion instantly gives you a big chunk of mana back. The focus potion increases your mana regen rate, and depending on which one you've got, the one that I've been using right now based on the level of our characters is a common focus potion, and it increases your mana regeneration by a small amount, whatever that is, I don't know. But then as you get better focus potions, you'll get more mana regen out of them. So I've been using the combination of the two, and I haven't had any mana problems recently. So I always having those two on you to make sure that you've got enough mana regeneration to get through a fight is super helpful.
Awesome. So, besides potions, would you say you need to do anything else?
As far as healing's concerned?
Yeah.
I mean, making sure that you're checking your mana, and then there's different ways that you can heal in this game, and I've gotten a little more familiar since last week with how things work. So there's two different trees. There's a healing tree, and there's a protector tree. And I've put all my points right now into the healing tree. So I've got a direct heal that heals one person directly for 120% weapon damage. And then I've got an AoE heal called Sacred Ground. It creates a AoE on the ground like a bubble. Any allies that are in there, they gain some healing.
I've seen you do that one a lot. So
yeah, I always try and put it down right at the beginning because there's also additional benefits to it. Like the second part you get is you regenerate stamina and mana 50% faster while you're in Sacred Ground. So if I pop that thing down and stand in the circle while I'm healing, then that's increasing my mana regeneration more. And then the last one...
Will that also help? Does that also help Rick get his mana?
I don't know if that one affects allies or not. We'll have to test that. The next point I know helps allies. It says while allies are in Sacred Ground, they're healed for 50% more from all healing. So if you guys have potions or foods that are ticking on you and healing you, it's going to do 50% additional, as well as my direct heals. Okay. So I'm trying to get all my points down in Sacred Ground to be able to, help healing. And then I've got a ability called Splash of Light, and it's just a really quick heal that does 60% weapon damage to all group members that are within 100 meters. And then on the other side, the protector side, it's more about granting... there's what's called Fortify in the game that decreases the amount of damage you take. So it increases the Fortify on your allies rather than like direct healing. So I've focused more on the direct healing than I have the protector side, but I'm sure that as we level up and stuff, there's a good combination of the two that'll work better. But right now, that being in the healing tree is working well for me.
Yeah. Now, on your professions, what would you suggest doing?
For a healer?
Yeah.
The only one that I would like specifically recommend that while you're leveling up, you focus on is Arcana. That's where you get your life staff, your void gauntlet, and all your potions and stuff. And cooking. Cooking's good too. So, but I've kind of changed my mindset on professions altogether, because as you're playing the game, you can either focus on your quests, or you can focus on your professions, or you can kind of do both. And I've kind of started to lean towards just focusing on doing quests all the time. I've almost completely stopped gathering as I'm running around, just because I want to get the quest done, get leveled up. Once you get to level 60, you can get all the good tools and stuff, and you can go out and you can gather so much faster that, to me, it's probably better to just get up to level 60, get all the good tools, and then go out and do all your gathering and come back and do all your crafting. I think it'll be a lot faster.
Okay.
But while you're leveling up, I would recommend cooking, and for a healer that's using a life staff and a void gauntlet, hitting the Arcana and leveling that up with you, because you're going to want the foods to keep your mana regen up and your health, and you're going to want the potions and stuff to help you out too.
Okay. All right, Rick, would you suggest more or less the same thing? It sounds like, practically the same thing, potions and cooking and stuff like that also.
Well, definitely cooking for sure. But I actually think the fire staff was made in woodworking. I'll have to confirm that, but
I'll go check right now. I did log in. I was looking at some things. I'll check the woodworking.
Oh, okay. But yeah, definitely cooking for sure. And as a mage, like you're kind of not in the battles really, so you don't need heavy defenses. So like you could even do some of the tailoring and just craft your own armor, save you some gold, and I've noticed that on the lighter armor there tends to be a lot more intelligence and focus or constitution stat increases on the lighter armor stuff. So that's just something I do, craft your own armor. I mean, like, even crafting your own weapons, like, it's not a super huge deal, but it saves you a lot, and you can generally craft something that's better than what you'll find out in the world in the given zones. I think Keith had mentioned before that there was like a watermark for the type of gear you would get. And I think the watermark is kind of set to the zone that you're currently questing through, so there's a lot of times where you won't find something anywhere near what you're at. But you can just go ahead and craft it for yourself and hopefully get something with a much better gear score to it, which in turn equals more damage, better stats.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm kind of doing. Is I've been going out and mining a lot because I like to make my own gear, and it's proved to be helpful because some of the stuff I'm picking up at my level, I can make stuff a lot better, almost twice as better than what I'm picking up. So I'm kind of liking that.
Yeah, and I mean, like, once we go up, like, our maximum gear score goes up so much, so I think at like level 30, I think you can equip like gear score 420 stuff, and like, it's pretty cool stuff, but it looks nice and it's got really cool stats on it. So yeah, it's just you kind of got to watch where you're leveling, or where you're questing rather, because like if we're still doing stuff in Westward or Everfall, those levels or those zones are only meant for like up to like level 25 sort of thing. So if you're level 30 doing quests there, you're probably not going to get any gear for yourself that's going to benefit you in any way, shape, or form. So definitely crafting is going to be a big benefit in that aspect if you're going for zone completion or unlocking different dungeons and stuff.
Yeah.
So I took a look. I went to every single crafting station while you guys were talking. The fire staff, the ice gauntlet, the void gauntlet, and the life staff are all made through Arcana.
Oh, okay. I thought it was woodworking. That's my fault.
I thought it was different as well. That's why the Arcana was the last one I went to.
Well, yes, it makes sense. They are magic items, so I might just be thinking of the fact that they do require a whole bunch of wood, if I remember correctly.
Well, I need to look at some of the stuff a little bit more. I'm logged on, and I'm looking at where you hit K for character, J for journal, and I'm seeing some stuff I didn't even know anything about. So I need to start looking, which is always good anyways, especially when you're a noob, to look at everything that you possibly can, because you might be overlooking stuff that can help your character out a lot. Like, I don't know. I need to get in here and I can click each one-handed weapon or two-handed weapon and look and see what each one of them do. Right now, I've just been carrying a sword and shield. I could probably look to see what all the rapiers do, the hatchets do. That way, if I pick one up, I know exactly if I want to use it or if it's not good for me. Like the ice gauntlet, if I pick one up, I'm not going to use it because it's mainly for magic, and I'm playing a tank class. Or yeah, that's what I'm trying to play, tank class. So I need to actually look at each one of these and actually look and see what, every point does, if it's going to do threat or whatnot. And I haven't done that.
Did we? I don't think we got into it much last week. So, and I know you haven't gotten to the point where you have a weapon that you can equip one of the gems in.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
So, with the tanking side of things, there's different abilities. When you press K, you go to Weapon Mastery and you open up like your sword and shield.
Yeah.
If you hover over Shield Bash, which is in the Defender side, at the bottom, it says Taunt Gem Compatible. If you have a Carnelian gem equipped in your sword, this ability inflicts taunt for 6 seconds to all enemies hit. So different. And then the other one, the Defiant Stance, which is also in the Defender, has a Taunt Gem Compatible. If you have that gem equipped, when you use that ability, it taunts everything in an 8-meter radius for 6 seconds. So that's how the taunt works in this game. It's all based on having one of those Carnelian gems in your sword. And I know the other day when we were playing, we were looking, and there were no swords available yet that had gem slots. So once you get up to the point where you get a sword that you can put a gem into, you'll put one of those Carnelian gems in, and different gem levels will cause you to do additional threat as well. Like the first one, the Flawed Carnelian gem is the lowest level one. It causes you all your attacks, whether it's one of those taunt compatible attacks or not, to do 100% additional threat. So it'll be a lot easier at that point for you to keep threat off of the other two of us, and just by doing your normal attacks. And then if for some reason you do lose threat, you can use one of those abilities that are compatible with your taunt gem, and it will automatically make them attack you. So the way they've done tanking, it takes a while to get used to, especially if you've played other MMOs where you do have like a direct taunt. But I kind of like the way it's worked out. I've started doing some tanking and stuff on a different character, but I think once you get that gem, you'll find that it becomes a lot more fun.
Good. Yeah, because I've been helping out a little bit. I think I've been pulling a little bit, but I think it's mostly on things that y'all hardly hit.
Well, when you were talking earlier, you were talking about somebody was, pulling things to us. That's been me. I'll find you, and then if we need to kill 8 of something, I'll stand near you and just start shooting them with my life staff. And they come over, and you seem to hit them once, and you pull thread off of me.
Yeah.
And then I can just stand there, throw a healing AoE on the ground, and keep pulling stuff to us.
Whenever they usually get over there, I'll do a shield rush, which, it rushes forward 5 meters and knock back the foes, and it deals 125% weapon damage, and that's everybody in front of me. So I like to open up with that a lot of times, and then I'll that was shield rush, and then I'll do a shield bash, which deals 50% weapon damage and stuns foes in front of you for 2 seconds. So doing both of those helps out a lot. And then I'll just swing and block. I'm trying to learn how to block, because I'm not one who's used to blocking too much. So I'm still getting the hang of that.
I know you had said you'd like to tank. You've tanked in other games, and it's typical, I think, for most tanking builds in other games. You automatically block. You've got a certain amount of a block statistic that makes you automatically block a certain number of attacks. But in here, you have to actually do the blocking yourself.
Exactly. So. And I've actually seen some of the enemies where they jump back and they dodge. So, that's something I need to figure out stuff I can do or whatnot. So it's probably something later. I don't know yet. I don't know if you noticed that whenever you swing at people, sometimes I think one of them even rolled back.
Yeah, well, you have your dodge as well, right? So you hit your left shift and you'll do a dodge forward, backwards, left, or right.
Yeah.
Now last week I remember mentioning that it's all based on like how your dodge is done is based on your gear weight. So if you're wearing heavy armor, you just do little side steps.
Oh yeah, I remember you mentioned it. Yeah.
And then lighter or medium armor, you would take a little skip, and then with light armor, you do like a very quick roll and get out of the way.
Now, what you're wearing and what is in your bags is 2 totally different things, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So what you're wearing does not count as your inventory's weight, but it counts as your character weight. So the heavier gear you're wearing, the slower you're going to move.
And a little tip: if you do get overburdened in your inventory bag and you're walking real slow, you can go ahead and do left click on the items in your inventory. Go ahead and salvage them. That way you can actually walk decently to the town and get rid of everything or whatever.
Yeah, so if you're salvaging a piece of armor, you get like a quarter of a gold and some repair parts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not always ideal to be getting rid of armor, but it's the heaviest item that isn't going to be in your bag is either your armor or weapons that you pick up. So making sure that you have enough space or enough weight reduction to get places, salvaging weapons or armor is going to be better for you.
And those repair parts are used for whenever you're trying to kill stuff and your weapon is broke. You use those to fix it. Or like if I was out mining the other day and all of a sudden I couldn't mine anymore. And come to find out my pick, would you call it, broke or whatever? it had 0 of 100, so I used those repair parts right then and there where I was at and fixed it where I can use my mighty pick again.
Yeah, and they're also used for crafting actual repair kits, which will repair a single item up to 100% for whatever.
Okay, I didn't know that.
But yeah, with the repair parts, you can repair all of your gear on the fly as you're out and about in the woods or whatever. It'll cost you a little bit of gold and a certain amount of repair parts, depending how much damage is, or how much your stuff is damaged. And yeah, it's really cool how they've done it like this. You don't need to go find somebody to pay to repair your stuff. You just do it on your own.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is there anything else I can think to talk about? What we're the subject we're on now?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, just kind of in summary, I'd say that you guys have talked about how you prefer to craft things. There's many different ways you can play this game. You've just got to figure out what's gonna be the best for your play style.
Yeah. Now, survivability on. Would you say, if somebody's log on right now by themselves, survivability, would you say the tank? Would you say melee DPS, casting DPS, healing? What would you suggest?
For me, it all depends on how you like to play. Like, because if you like to be up close and personal, then a sword and shield is going to be super handy to have. You can stack your constitution and your strength to obviously deal more damage and have more health. And unlike most games, the tank's DPS is actually really, really good. It's not like, you go in and you take on a couple mobs and it takes you 45 minutes to kill them. You go in and it only takes you a few seconds. You can kill them just as fast as any other DPS. So really it all depends on how you build yourself as to what your survivability is going to be.
In some games, whenever you're just running around, your health and mana go up. This game I haven't seen my health go up, so you got to carry food or potions or whatnot to get your health back up.
Yeah, if you don't have a ration or a meal active. Like when you eat a light ration, let's say, it'll recover you a certain amount of health over a short period of time, like 20 seconds. Yeah. Like specifically, I'm looking at the light ration. Okay. It recovers 40 health per second for 20 seconds until you take damage. And then after that, you recover 1% of your health every 2.5 seconds for 20 minutes. Ooh. If you don't have that buff active, you won't gain any health back. So you always need to have some kind of food with you to keep that, to keep your health regeneration active.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I just read the one part where it heals you for so much for 20 seconds.
Yeah, and if you're in game and you look right above your health bar, if you have a buff available, it'll be in a little black box above your health bar. So when that drops off, you know you need to eat some more food. And there's different symbols depending on whether it's a health food or a mana food. And then there's, like I was talking about using those focused potions. Those give you a different symbol as well. So it just depends what buffs you have active. But they'll all show up above your health bar there.
I just noticed you were standing beside me in the game. Anyways, speaking of in-game... I have a question on when you join a faction. What would you call it? Like we're Marauders. What is that called?
Yeah, that's a faction. Yeah,
faction. Okay. Now, when you join a faction, you get 3 regular quests and 3 PvP quests. Now, I noticed that we do those 3 regular quests, and we turn them in, it gives us 3 more. Does it keep doing that? Or does it only give you so many?
No, it'll keep doing that. So you can do those quests as many times as you want. But you need to keep an eye on the fact that you can only gain so much reputation and so much item token or faction tokens before you can progress. So, like, to go from tier 1 to tier 2, you need to gain 3,000 faction rep, and I think you can only carry like 1,500 faction tokens or something like that. And then you need to be upwards of around level 20, level 25 before you do the next quest to bump yourself up to the next tier. And then at the next tier, it goes up to needing 11,000 rep, and you can have 10,000 tokens or 15,000 tokens, something like that. But you can continually do those quests as much as you want.
Okay.
And you kind of have to do those quests, because at some point, part of the main storyline is gaining reputation with your faction so that you can move on to a different area and continue to build your reputation.
Yeah, part of the reason why I was asking is because you can buy a house at level 15, which we are. Or at least I am. I don't have that much money.
Is it level 15?
Yeah, we did the quest to buy a house.
I just didn't realize it was an actual level requirement. I just knew it was a...
Yeah, if you hit...
Then you also need to have a certain
reputation.
Let's
see. I just saw it a second ago. Where did I see that at?
Level rewards in the attribute.
Level rewards in the attribute.
Yeah, hit K and go to your attributes, and then it'll say level rewards down the bottom left.
Oh, okay, attributes, bottom left. What?
Yeah, there should be something that says view leveling rewards.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's where I saw it. It said level 15 first house. Level 5, you get your second weapon slot. And a survivalist quest, which gives you the camp that you get to do. Level 10 gives you the first bag slot, and you can start dueling. 15 is the first house and third consumable slot, and a survivalist quest for camp tier upgrade. And then our next one is level 20 for ring slot and main story quest Azov staff tier 1. So that's going to be our goal for right now. So, all right. Is there anything y'all can think about to add to the podcast that people might want to know?
I know Keith has certain tips that he likes to keep.
Well, that's our next spot. So, Keith, got any tips?
Yeah, I got a couple for this week. One of them kind of goes back to some stuff you were talking about before. I think it was Reaper said that the weapons and armor are the heaviest thing that you've got in your bag. I would also encourage you to look at your potions, because I'm looking at my character right now. I have some mana potions, and I have 2 different kinds of health potions. So I've got 3 stacks of potions totaling 20 and a half pounds. I have 4 different armor items, only 11.4 pounds. So when you start stacking up your potions in your inventory, those things eat up the weight capacity. So that would be a tip. Watch your potions, because you're going to pick them up as you're playing, and you don't think about it, because you wouldn't think, potions aren't going to take up that much space. They do. They're heavy. So get rid of them if you don't need them. Put them on the trading post if you want. Put them in your storage, because sometimes they are used for the town quests. But don't carry them around in your bag. They eat up a ton of your space.
So only carry on you what you are hoping to use while you're
Right,
doing
yeah,
you're
what
doing.
you think
Okay.
you're going to need.
If you're going to be gone a while, carry some potions. Okay.
Either you guys got any tips, or are you just leaving this whole segment to me?
I was just wondering if you were done.
I've got another one, but you go ahead.
Just trying to remember what it was. It was there, and then it wasn't. Crap. Go ahead, Keith. I'll think of it while you talk.
What I like is when you're out there farming in the world, you're also getting XP, and you gotta make sure if you're just gonna spend some time farming stuff, empty your bags before you go, because you don't want to be walking too far if you actually get too much, and if you actually mess up and you're carrying too much, you'll be walking real slow, and you don't want to walk real slow all the way back to town, or you have to dump something. So if you're going to be farming, make sure you empty most of your bags except for because you're still going to be doing some fighting, and just keep an eye on the weight of your bags, and put it in your storage. And if, like Rick said last week, whenever you're in town, you could just put them all in your shed, and you don't have to have it in your bag. You have it in your shed when you go to the station to make your items. It can be in your shed, so I just want to remind people about that.
And another kind of, I guess, little tip is kind of just tying into what you said, is why I jumped in here at the end of what you were saying.
Okay.
If you're going to go out for the sake of, let's say you decide you've set a goal, you want to get your logging up to level 50. So rather than going out and you don't necessarily need that wood, but you've set a goal to level up your logging. Go out, log until your bags are full, open your inventory, drop the wood, and then you can just keep right on logging. Or you can do what's called splitting the stack, where you hold control and click on the stack, and it'll split it in half, and you can drop half of it. But if you're going to be out there and you've set that goal, that's why you're out there to level up your logging, just drop the stacks and keep on logging to get to your goal.
I could imagine just dropping it, but you can't really sell it, can you?
You can, but it doesn't sell for a lot. You're not going to lose a ton of money by dropping a stack of green wood.
Okay.
I remembered what I was going to say now. Has to do with the encumbrance and the items you can carry in your bag. So I learned the other day when I crafted a stupid amount of beds, that you actually have an encumbrance and item limit that will actually prevent you from moving at all.
Oh, really?
So I was like 350 pounds overweight. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
But I also learned that you could carry up to 500 unique items. So the beds I was making, they didn't stack. They were all individual. So each one of them counted as an individual unique item. But yeah, so you could carry 500 individual items. So if you have blueberries and strawberries and corn, each one of those three are individual items, and they will stack until I think it's like 10,000 per stack or something. You'll never carry that many, I don't think. Maybe you will, I don't know. But keep an eye that you don't go too far over. I know you're on your way back and you're already walking, you're encumbered a little bit, and you're going to stop to pick this flower or chop this tree just because you're on your way back. But you got to be careful, because if you do go overweight, you're going to be dead in your tracks there, and you can't do a damn thing. You can't attack, you can't move, you can't use any of your abilities.
Can't attack? Oh, yeah.
So if you get stuck there and something decides it's coming to beat you up, well, here you are going through your inventory, figuring out what you're able to get rid of just so you can start moving again. So be careful because you might die. Thankfully, I was in town when I stopped moving.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it for me. Just really watch your encumbrance to that point, because yeah, I'm not entirely sure how much over you can go, but I just know that there is a limit.
All right, quick question for Keith. Did you mention the add-on? I see that you posted it in the Discord last
No, but I
week.
can.
The New World mini-map thing, yeah.
Yeah, so New World, I think we mentioned last week, there's no there's no mini map provided in the game. You've got your compass that has your symbols on it that tell you, as long as you have a quest pinned where it's at, and you have your regular map that opens up and blocks your whole screen. There's no mini map. There is a website. Let me see if I can quickly find that. If you go to...
It's in the Discord, so that helps.
Oh, it's through Overwolf. New World Minimap on Overwolf. And download that. Then it will give you a mini-map that you can move anywhere on the screen. And it also has a companion that will stream your location to their website, which is newworldminimap.com. So, and on the website portion that you're streaming to, it will allow you to populate symbols for everything in the game. So if you're setting out to go after star metal specifically, you can see anywhere in the entire world that Amazon's created here where star metal can spawn. If you've got a certain quest that's sending you out after goats, you can populate the map with symbols that will show you where goats spawn, because they're very few and far between, the goats are. So they're hard to find if you just head out of town and go looking for them. And there's a lot of quests that send you out to read journal pages. You can populate on the map where all the documents are in the world. So I've been playing with this up all the time, just because if I'm walking from one place to another to do a quest, I can see from where I'm at to where I'm going if there's any chests that I want to try and dig into, or if there's any documents on the ground I want to read, because you get XP for those, right?
Yeah.
And then if you get a quest later that tells you that you need to read that document, if you've already read it, you automatically get credit for it. So I've just been reading everything that I can as I move from quest to quest. And that kind of goes back to what we were talking about. If you set out to farm certain things, you can look them up on that map, and it's super handy. So I would recommend going to Overwolf and getting the New World mini map. It's very handy.
All right. Well, I think that's it for the week, unless y'all have anything else y'all want to say.
I got one more tip.
You want to say it, or you want to wait till next week?
No, I'll go ahead and say it. I feel like this one, if it goes back to kind of what we said last week when we were talking about how to link up with your friends when you're playing.
Yeah.
This one's short.
Okay.
If you're playing with your friends, communication, like talking to each other and paying attention, is super important, because without there being a mini map for you to be able to watch their dots and stuff, and I've noticed that sometimes it's very hard to track down where your friend is, even though you're in a group. The little symbols all get mixed together when you're in town and stuff. So if you don't say, hey, I'm heading out to go do this quest, the person you're playing with may never know, or you may end up heading out of town in two different directions because you don't have a little dot on the mini map. You don't have any way to really track where your partner's at. They don't show up on the compass or anything. So it's very easy to head off in two different directions if you're not paying attention. So,
yep, we've done that. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we've done it. communicate with each other and focus, and it'll keep you together and keep Taz from dying because nobody else is around.
Yep. I think I actually did die, didn't I?
Yeah, you went down and then Reaper came and resurrected you.
No, they hit me again. I had to run back.
Oh, okay.
But it's fine. Anyways, I'm back alive, so I'm good. So, alright. Anybody else? No?
No, that's it.
Alright.
That's all I got for this week.
Well, I think it was a good one. And can't wait to play again. So, I might be farming later. I don't know yet. But anyways, until next week, have fun playing the game.
See you later, guys.
Later.
If you would like to reach the show, you can email us at mmonoobspodcast@gmail.com.